What is up, NBA basketball fans? The season is coming to an end quite soon, this week actually. It's going to be quite depressing. We're going to have a summer full of no basketball for a few weeks, and then we're going to have the Olympics. It'll be fine. It's going to be fine, Josh. This podcast is brought to you by Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Go check them out if you're in the Houston area. I know Josh is not in the Houston area, but I know as soon as he gets back in Houston, he's going to a Big City Wings, just like you should. And shout out to our daily fantasy sports app, Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. That means if you deposit $100, Prize Picks is going to give you $100. And daily fantasy sports is where you hit more or less on any stat, any player, any game, any night. And we still got NBA Finals tonight, Monday, June 17th, recording this in the morning before Game 5 in Boston. Josh, I know you're in Chicago, but how you doing?
I'm incredible. Golfing today, little summer smash moment yesterday. Naked dudes running everywhere in the suburbs of Chicago. It's like, what else could you want? I'm here. I got to go to Wrigley yesterday for the first time. Going to Comiskey, guaranteed rate, whatever they call it now,
Sure.
tomorrow to see my Astros, who have not been hot. That's check out Beyond the Diamond. They tapped me into all the news that I've been missing because Justin Verlander getting scratched day of, and then us just getting absolutely respectfully shafted. Not good. So if the Astros aren't good this summer, it's going to be a long one. But I will be rooting through and through for our Team USA basketball team, and maybe I'll pick somebody for the Euros. I don't know yet.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe. We'll see what happens. But let's do a little rewind. Back to Wednesday night, Game 3 of the NBA Finals in Dallas. They returned to Dallas for the first time in 13 years in the NBA Finals. It started off really well. Just gonna be completely honest. Like, I was having a great time in the first quarter. Luka was doing things. They were up 15 at one point. They started to close the gap in the first quarter, but kind of had a 10-point lead. I think going in. Let's just check that. Let's just see what happens here. It's just they had a good quarter, and then the second quarter, or they had a good quarter until the last 3 minutes. It was 31-30 at the end of the first quarter. I was like, not great when you play that well and you only have a 1-point lead going into the second quarter. Then it just kind of the third quarter was abysmal from the Mavericks perspective. The Celtics just kind of had a tremendous quarter, went up 15-20 of their own. Then they started clawing back, and the talk of the town that night was Luka Doncic fouling out with 4.5 minutes left. They had 2 suspect foul calls on Luka, back-to-back possessions, essentially. What could have been a charge, could have been a block. It could go either way. I'd rather just get rid of the charge altogether, and it's just always a block, so they're not encouraged to do it. And then the play before, it was just not a foul, and they went to the review, called it a foul. That was his 5th foul, and then Luka fouls out the next possession, essentially on a breakaway with Jaylen Brown. It was tough. It's tough scenes when you lose by 7 and you don't have your best player on the court for the last 4.5 minutes of a game. You don't deserve to win if your best player is not going to stay on the court. This is really all it came down to.
Exactly. This is such a really, really eye-opening moment when you look at the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, obviously, everyone knows how important Luka Doncic is, but when I saw that last foul call, it made me feel so strange because I saw this blocking call, but Jaylen Brown was just throwing bows at Luka, and I'm not going to sit here.
Which is how Luka got hurt in the first place, the thoracic
Right.
contusion in his chest, where he's had to take pain-killing shots. That's how it happened the first time when they called it a charge in Game 1, I believe.
Yeah.
Don't like to see it again.
No, not at all. If Luka Doncic can just become Brett Favre, 2009 Brett Favre, and just lead his team, and of course not choke in the last minute of the NFC title game, that'd be great because we have yet to have a really good painkiller story in sports for a minute. Either things are very much under wraps, or we just don't live in the same America. I guess I don't know what it is, but I really think that if Luka Doncic just gets some painkiller shots in his body, ends up dropping 35, 40. I'm not saying the Mavericks are going to come back. I actually I'm in a legal state, so I can say this. I was on the not sponsored app, one of the main sports books, and I saw that before I think Game 4 was even over, they put a live odd for Dallas to win in 7 at plus 1,200, and I just thought that was ludicrous. It's never happened before. That should be plus 12,000. I was pissed off, and if you're taking that bet legally, responsibly, what are you doing? What are you doing? Wait until games 5, 6. who knows? Anything can happen in Boston tonight. This episode is dropping immediately as soon as we're done with the recording here, so we could be completely wrong. But
Could be.
I would just love to see Dallas go into Boston and actually like go kind of kind of insane how they went the other night and just go into Boston with this weird mentality where I don't know if it was Jason Kidd, I don't know if it was Derek Lively. Somebody on that team was like, "Hey, we're gonna fucking win." And Jason Kidd saying, "Pack your bags, we're going to Boston." Keep that energy up. Make this series longer. I want to watch basketball for as long as I legally, possibly, responsibly can, and I love it. Please, I want you to talk about Derek Lively for as much as you can, because I know
Yeah.
there's so many feelings, emotions, thoughts, and I want to hear from you. You are a resident Dallas Mavericks guy. This is your moment, your time to shine. Get
Yeah,
after it.
before we get to that, I want to point out Brian Windhorst and his flip flopness. I didn't listen to the Hoop Collective after game 3. I was too angry to consume any NBA content at that point. I was like, all right, let's get ready for the US Open. It's Thursday. US Open, first day, Pinehurst number 2. I was excited for that. So I was dialed into golf all weekend. It was delightful. Had a great time. The US Open was electric. But after game 3, Brian Windhorst went on SPP, whatever they call it after dark, on ESPN, and basically ripped Luka Doncic a new one. And he just basically said that he's getting blown by, which he is at an alarming rate, but opponents are only shooting 45% against him, which isn't like something to marvel at, but 45% when people are blowing by you at a 70% rate, kind of take that, honestly. If he's not going to be able to play defense, like at least they're not making their shots every time. So he called him out for that, and then fouling out and not knowing the moment, yada, 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 just not playing up to the moment. And I think that was a ludicrous statement from Brian Windhorst, because Luka Doncic is the only reason, like one of the primary reasons that they're in this position. They won 50 games in the regular season. They were a 5 seed. They had to go through the Clippers, the OKC Thunder, the number 1 seed, and then the number 1 defense in Minnesota, and just thrashed Minnesota, by the way. People forget that it's not too long ago. Just the Western Conference Finals. They just demolished them and could have won in 4. Every game was close until game 5. So without Luka Doncic, this team is nowhere near the playoffs, even. Like it.
Oh,
So Brian Windhorst just saying that they're the reason that Luka's the reason that the Mavericks are losing. It's simply incorrect. Kyrie had 2 abysmal games to start the series. He had a good game 3, but they ended up losing. PJ Washington, Derek Jones Jr., Daniel Gafford, pretty much no one has shown up. Derek Lively wasn't even good until game 3. No one on the bench is helping the Mavericks at this point, through the first 3 games. And you're just looking at it and you're like, Luka has help. They're just not performing the way that they had in the first 3 series of the NBA playoffs. And it's the NBA Finals. It's the hardest test. You've already played 103, 104 games this season. Like, people are tired, people are injured. I get that. They're just not performing the way that they had in the previous 3 series. So Windhorst just going after Luka, I was like, I mean, can we talk about PJ Washington, Derek Jones Jr., Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, Dante Exum, Tim Hardaway Jr., the terrorist that's on my team? Can't wait for him to be gone. Let's talk about the rest of the team, not the guy that's still scoring 27, 29, 31 points with 6+ rebounds and assists. Like, he's doing everything he kind of can to will this team to a championship. And
absolutely.
they lost the first 3 games against a better team that had played impeccable defense, that had made the shots when they needed to make them, even though they hadn't made consistent 3-pointers throughout this entire series. But then we get to game 4. I watched it on my laptop with no noise, no sound. I so down
Brain
before
in it,
that game.
heart out of it.
Like, I wasn't ready to go to war. I didn't lock in. I didn't do anything. I was like, I'm just gonna watch it, and if they lose, they lose. And it was an awesome season. They made it to the NBA Finals. That's sick. Like, great time. However, the first quarter, Derek Lively makes an open 3. Luka does what Luka does. He gets into the paint because no Porzingis. Obviously, Porzingis is hurt right now, and we haven't really mentioned that. But Porzingis is hurt, so they can get in the paint freely without a shot blocker in the paint. Drew Holiday and I believe Al Horford were on a switch. So then it's Al Horford on Luka. Drew then comes to help. Derek Lively just floats out to the corner, over to the right corner. And I was like, I guess he's just giving him space so Luka can do whatever Luka's going to do. Luka then dishes it to Derek Lively. And everyone on the bench is like, oh no, why is he going to shoot this? This is like, everyone's deadpan on the bench. If you see the picture of him just loading up his 3-point shot, everyone's like, what the fuck is going on here? Drains it like a beautiful rainbow three. Didn't even touch like net hardly. It just switched
Mhm.
right through. It was beautiful. Then Boston goes down. Derek Lively gets the block on that end, runs all the way back down, and then I can't remember who threw the alley oop. I think it was Kyrie, but I can't remember. Gets the alley oop on the next possession. So he scores 5 points and takes away 2 points on the other end. It's the most incredible sequence I've seen from a rookie. He's also the first rookie in NBA Finals history since Magic Johnson to have multiple double doubles in the NBA Finals.
Love it. Love
Not
it.
a bad stat, not a bad guy to be in comparison with
No,
in this stat
no.
as a rookie. Yeah, you have that 3 play sequence, and I was like, all right, well, we're just gonna win this game. That's just what's gonna happen. And Luka couldn't make a three, and Kyrie couldn't make a three. I think they were 1 of 14 from three in game 4 or game 5, and they win by 38 points. Okay. You
We'll
take
take that.
that.
Yeah.
We need a Luka explosion game. We haven't had one this entire playoffs.
The guy has been insanely hurt, and we all know this. You know this especially. Like, it, I don't know what it's gonna take, but Brian Windhorst just dogging on Luca. Sure, I get it to some extent, but he's getting the superstar treatment, the scapegoat treatment, whatever you want to call it, because he's Luca fucking Doncic. He's a top 5 at worst player in the NBA, top 1, top 2 at best. You know what I mean? So if you can't win with a guy like that, obviously there's so much more that goes into basketball. This is a lot of discourse can happen from conversations like this, but I really feel in my heart of hearts, well, the main thing that we've noticed the first 3 games is not only the drive and kicks that Boston have been successfully completing, and by successfully I mean 1 in 3 times, and in
Yeah,
Dallas,
they're
in
not
Dallas
shooting
will do
well.
it. Yeah, and Dallas will do it in 1 in 4 and 1 in 5 times. So those are swings that just immediately change the game right there. So if let's say someone goes down from Boston and scores 12 points and Dallas only scores 9, you do that 4, 5, 6 times throughout the game. Oh, you won by 20. That's it. And the immediate switch I saw from game 4, obviously Boston had a terrible game. They were due for one. They've lost what, 2 games, 1 game this whole postseason.
Yeah.
The ridiculous numbers. They're putting up 2,000 Los Angeles Lakers numbers out there with no swag and no enjoyability.
No.
No, no, I don't like
Yeah.
it.
No.
But I mean, of course, credit due is where credit's due. I mean, the team is incredibly dominant, but there are holes, and we've seen holes. I thought that there would be enough holes to where the Dallas Mavericks could win at least 1 game out of 3. But we're here, and I'm not saying that it's impossible. Like I said, I can completely be eating my. I could completely be eating my words. By the time you're watching this, I don't know. But Kyrie Irving just not playing extremely well. Kind of getting to almost he's almost playing like Fred Van Vliet in this, and I hate to even compare, but when you see the way he plays, like he drives and kicks when he's not, or he'll kick out when he's not shooting well or whatever the situation may be. But oh my goodness, it eerily reminds me of Fred Van Vliet, and it's like if Fred Van Vliet is your starting point guard in an NBA final, I don't care if it's 2019. I mean, sure, lightning will strike once, lightning it might strike twice. I don't know, but that's not a recipe for usual success. So I'm not necessarily a fan of what's been going down in Dallas. The immediate reaction is just the bench is ridiculously just the Boston Celtic bench is here. Dallas Mavericks bench is way down here. It's very troubling, and you'd think that those deadline moves, because we've been talking this whole time, this whole playoffs, we're like, oh my god, the Dallas Mavericks won the trade deadline because they did, and clearly if they didn't make those moves, they would not be in this position right now. But I mean, you got young guys who again, this is a very this can cause a lot of discourse, but you don't really know, the guys are young, the guys are very young, and if they aren't playing well in the finals, it's hard to not blame them. But also you see 23, 24, 25 year olds, also Derek Lively, you could look at Derek Lively and be like, oh, he's only what, 20, and
He just turned 20.
he's just killing every fucking game that he plays. So it's two sides of the same coin. It's like, okay, we can be nicer to these young guys, or we can look at Derek Lively and just be like, oh, this guy's doing it, why can't PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford do it, why can't Josh Green do it, and then insert any Jaden Hardy, anybody. Tim Hardaway Jr. scoring 15 points in 6 minutes. That was the funniest 15 minutes of garbage time that I've ever seen. I can't tell you the last time I watched a playoff, let alone NBA Finals game, where it was garbage time in the third quarter. This was ridiculous. This was ridiculous, and I loved every minute of it. Tim Hardaway Jr. just multiple heat checks. I really think that confidence and that vibe check is really going to help you guys in the future. And I don't. You guys might win one in Boston. I'm just saying. Could be completely wrong, but I'm just saying.
So you mentioned the bench for the Dallas Mavericks, and something we had been missing this entire series was a third ball handler off the bench for Luka and Kyrie to just get a breather and not have to bring the ball up. Dante Exum in game 3 had that monster dunk. If you remember in the
Oh yeah,
second quarter, I believe he came in and just had this crazy dunk. He split through 2 people and just dunked it on someone. I was like, okay,
I
what?
think
We
that
never
was
saw
Jalen
that in the
Brown. Yeah,
it was
that was
never happened in
Jalen
the
Brown.
regular season. It was the most preposterous thing ever. And I was like, I saw that and I was like, all right, I think we win the game now. And we ended up losing. Obviously, Luka fouls out and whatever.
Right.
But Dante Exum, let's read his box score from game 5. He played. Let's look for this. I can't find him. He's all the way. He only played 14 minutes, but he's 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 2 rebounds, 1 foul, 10 points. Like, you take that all day long. You 14 minutes. That's all he played because he didn't play in garbage time. And maybe you found something like just a relief for Kyrie and Luka to not have to bring the ball up and not have to be the main focus as soon as they cross into the half court. Obviously, they're going to be the main focus, but they don't have the ball in their hands and they can move around freely. Kyrie's obviously good without the ball. Luka is just going to stand there and wait till he gets the ball and then he'll do something. But I don't know. Maybe you found something with him. Maybe Tim Hardaway has confidence and he can throw him in there. And if he's abysmal on defense, at least he's hitting threes. Like, maybe there's something there. Maybe there's not. And maybe this series is over after 5 games and it is what it is. And it was a gentleman's sweep. And we go on to next season and see what the Mavericks can do in the offseason without any cap room really or any picks to trade. So you just kind of take it as it is. But I think they found something with the defense. It's something weird. I think they found something out and they're like, okay, well, if we play 5 out with Derek Lively now, just sitting in the corner, and they might have to respect that. Like if he hits another one in game 5 tonight, Boston's not going to be able to just leave him there. So that then
No.
opens the lane up for Luka or Kyrie, whoever's driving in.
Yes.
And if
Yes.
they cheat on it, they just give it to Derek Lively and see what happens. I mean, he drains them in practice all the time. The videos come out of him and Daniel Gafford just shoot, and Dwight Powell shooting like 23s in a row, making them, swishing them, not even not even just like off the backboard or off the rim or anything. They're just swishing everything. I think Derek Lively is the only one that would actually do that in a game. Obviously, we saw it in game
Clearly.
5, but I don't know. If they win game 5 tonight, I don't know.
Conversations.
It's reminding me a lot of the obviously the Boston and Miami Heat series from last season, Eastern Conference Finals. Boston goes down 3-0. They win 3 in a row and they end up losing in game 7. They obviously had the Derek White miracle layup put back at the end of the game, alley-oop, whatever it was. I think it was a putback as the buzzer sounded in game 6. So things have happened in sports, like the Astros Tampa Bay series in the COVID year.
Yep.
That's what it's reminding me a lot of, because every game was just like, dude, the Astros have nothing in the first 3 games. Nothing. And you're just like, all right, this series is over. And then they win game 5 and you're like, or 4. And you're like, okay, still alive. See what happens in game 5. And then they win that one. You're like, okay, I mean, maybe. And then they win game 6 and you're like, no, we're going to win this series.
We're
And then
winning this whole damn shit.
They ended up losing in game 7 and it is what it is. But
Man.
it's never happened in NBA history, a team going down 3-0 and winning the series in the finals. So that would be a first. You know what else would be a first? A team losing an NBA Finals game by 38 plus points and winning the finals. It's never happened before. I think it's 34 is the cutoff. Like, no team has lost a game in the finals by 34 points or more and won the finals. So either way, we're having history this year.
Yep.
It might look
force.
completely terrible and it might be end in 5 and it's like, that was kind of just a shitty series and they ended up losing a game by 38 and winning the series. Or we have history and Luka Doncic does something impeccable, like something historic, like arguably better than the LeBron 3-1 comeback against a team that won 73 games in the regular season. I get it.
Yeah,
but
no, definitely.
You have to win 4 straight, and this team has not lost 3 straight. Boston has not lost 3 straight since, was it March of 2023?
Oh my God. That's
It's been
ridiculous.
a long time since they've lost 3 straight games.
Ridiculous, man. This is the best possible scenario for you, and maybe we're just hyping ourselves up, psyching ourselves out. I don't know what it is, but I'm fully in. I'm booked, busy, locked in to whatever could happen with this Dallas Mavericks team, and I think you've convinced me, man. Derek Lively makes a three tonight. Oh my god, I'm in. I'm
If
in.
Lively makes a 3 tonight, we're winning the game. That's
You're
just
winning the
plain
game.
and simple.
You're winning the game. I love
That's
that
what's
shit.
happening.
That was the best part about this whole series so far is I was a little tapped out that first quarter and I got reeled back in because you texted me and you were like, Derek Lively just hit a fucking three. We're up 18 points. It's fucking over. And I was just like, oh man, this is awesome. And finally, I don't know what exactly could go down from here, like we've mentioned, but the benches are really scary. It freaks me out that Boston is this good. And I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, they're a young team. They're not a young team. But a lot of their bench guys are around and just they seem more comfortable than a lot of the Dallas Mavericks guys out there. Of course, we can look back at game four and be like, oh, that was a wash. But the first three games, it really showed like Boston might be built for this. And I don't know come game five, it could just completely blow up in our face, but really just my goal for tonight is to just understand what I'm watching, understand who exactly what spots are where, who is like filling the gap the correct way, and just doing not just their job, but I would love and respect a 15-point Derek White game. I would love and respect a 10-point, 10 rebound Derek Lively game. Everyone just plays great defense, and I think we are kind of due for a kind of an 88-85 kind of stinker. I don't know. It just has game five TD Garden. Everything is just written in the stars for me. Um, but who knows? What do I know? What do you know? Nobody knows anything anymore.
No, I'm going in no expectations
No, no.
to Game 5. It's 3-1. It was 3-0. I mean, it's like a preposterously large mountain to climb. It's bigger than Mount Everest. Like, if the season ends tonight, it was a fun season, and I had a blast watching and everything. But if they win tonight, I'm gonna get a little bit more confident and heading into Game 6 at home, and it's gonna be a problem for my heart if they end up winning Game 6 at home on Thursday night. If they have to get through Game 5, obviously, but if they end up going through Game 6 and they win at home, I'm gonna be a mess. I'll be in Georgia watching that game. That's Sunday night, Game 7, if that
There we
happens.
go.
So
There we go.
I'll be putting it in the theater room and watching it on the biggest screen I can find, and either cry my eyes out one way or another, either sad or happy. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
I love it.
getting way ahead of ourselves. Game 5, don't let us win one tonight.
Nope. Don't let them
Don't
get
let us
one.
win one tonight.
Nope. Nope. Could never do it. I
Don't let it
this
happen.
is awesome, and I think that if it was a sweep, yeah, sure, we could have delved into all the immediate details. Oh, Boston did this right, but Dallas didn't do this right. I want to watch pure hoop. I just want to watch pure hoop tonight. I will be multi-streaming. I will have one hand with my phone in my hand, another two eyes looking straight from the bleachers at Wrigley Field. I will be so dialed, connected to the free Wi-Fi. Whatever you need, I got it. Damn it, I love basketball, and we've been talking about there could be dog days coming, but just I get reeled back in the Euros, Copa, Olympics, God, everything. I'm reeled. I am fucking locked and dialed, whatever you want to call it. I can't even imagine what you're feeling. Game five is going to be sick, and God willing, there's more because we need more of it.
More basketball is always good.
Yes,
So if we have more basketball, if the basketball gods allow it, we would welcome it with open arms.
absolutely.
Yeah, so Game 5 tonight in Boston. Boston, according to the ESPN app, is a -6.5 point favorite.
I don't like that.
Dallas money line is +215, according to the ESPN app. I don't use it because we live in Texas. So, yeah, I don't know. Game 5, don't let us win one.
Nope.
Don't let us win
Don't
one
let him
tonight.
catch one. Nope.
Don't let us win one tonight. I need a Luka just bomb. I needed just Luka game to the heavens. I need 50. I need 50, 10, and 10. Just something crazy because we haven't had one of those this playoffs. This entire playoffs, we've had quarters where he had 20. Against Minnesota, he did it in Game 5. And against the Celtics, he's had a couple of games that he's just kind of gone off in the first quarter, 10, 15, 20 points. And if we get a Luka bomb tonight, Oh boy.
Don't let him catch one.
Don't let us win one tonight.
Don't let him get out.
Josh, enjoy Chicago. Enjoy the rest of your stay. We'll be back maybe tomorrow or the day after that and talking about Game 5. If the season comes to an end, maybe we wait till the end of the week. But we'll be back later this week, talk about the NBA Finals. And I'm a little nervous now after talking about it for 25 minutes. I was fine all day. I was good. I was chilling. I was fine. And now I'm a little nervous. So Game 5 tonight on ABC, Monday, June 17th. NBA Finals. They're back tonight. Josh, thanks for joining. Shout out to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Go check them out today if you're in the Houston area. They've got like 13 locations. You can go anywhere in Houston pretty much and find a Big City Wings near you. Shout out to Prize Picks, our daily fantasy sponsor app, for today's Iron Picks with the boys on Apollo. I took Derek Lively more than 19 points, rebounds, and assists combo. A little double-double, and you're in.
I like that.
Double-double and an assist, you're in. I mean, I don't know. I just feel confident in that one. Derek Lively, I think he found something out, or he's just finding the corners. So shoot some threes. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, check out Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up. Get up to $100 match on your first deposit. You give $100, they give you $100 back. So basically, it's like you didn't even lose any money. So just go to Prize Picks, use code Apollo when you sign up, and on your first deposit, get up to $100 matched. Shout out to you, Josh. Shout out to Big City Wings. Shout out to Prize Picks. This has been Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast.